Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at latenightsportsradio.com.
Howdy there. Welcome on into the Johnny Bobbo Show. This is the Johnny Bobbo Show with lots of Johnny, little Bobbo, lots of Keith. What's happening? Keith Grieve, our fantastic producer. How are you tonight, sir?
Is there going to be any Bobbo?
There is most likely not going to be any Bobbo. From what I understand, he had a game where apparently we all know he coaches Ron Colley in the baseball team, high school baseball team. Actually, has been doing very good things with the club over the last, I think it's like 3 years now or so. He's been working there and kind of working as a pitching coach, doing some other stuff with them. And they're in big time tournament year. Game before them went into extras, and so that means late start for Bobbo. And that means he's not going to be here tonight, unfortunately.
Big jerk.
Yeah, he's a big jerk sometimes, but we wish him all of the very best of luck. But, he's the guy that's going to be missing out because we got to ask our guy, Danny Thompson, full court press radio, super nerd, loves everything about video games, used to work for EA Sports, also is on top of his music business. The guy's on top of everything. And so we're going to bring him out. We're going to ask him what's up with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Did they just flip the script against the Golden State Warriors, shaking off the rust there back at home? Or was it just kind of a game one thing, back at home? What's your take on that for starters, Keith? Do you think they just had to shake off the rust, the big layover, the big long trip? You're hanging out in a hotel room. You're LeBron James and Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love, and you just don't quite have that game speed, especially go up against a team like the Golden State Warriors. Just duked it out with Oklahoma City. You know what I mean? So what's your take? Do you think they got lucky? Were you expecting them to win this game? Because I think a lot of people did.
Well, to call it flipping the script might be a little bit of a stretch.
Of course.
There's still
got to make people listen.
No, I know.
Sounds stupid. People are like, oh, man, this guy's got stupid opinions. I'm going to tune into this thing.
No, but they still have the deficit here, and if they can make it 2-2, now hey, I'm all on board. I'm all for it. Let's do it. But
now, do you think there's gonna be a little David Stern action like our guy Bobbo was talking about last week, where they're gonna, I don't know, the NBA, the higher ups, the fat cats might say, let's turn this actually into a series. Because honestly, for a guy that doesn't watch as much basketball like me, I don't watch a ton of it, but I do watch, obviously, when it comes down to the playoffs. But that Golden State Oklahoma series, that was awesome. You know what I mean? And the way that kind of all went down. And our guy Danny, he's been on top of OKC. Says they're going to be here. They're going to be in the finals. Didn't pan out that way, but that was really the only entertaining series throughout that entire NBA Finals series this year. You know what I mean? When you kind of come down and look at all this stuff, that was the one I was looking at. You know what I mean? Because I mean to this point, I don't even think the Cavaliers really stood a chance for the most part. The way they kind of came out those first two games.
Yeah, I don't buy any of those conspiracy issues. Those conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, well,
no, the difference in last night versus the previous two games is that the Cavaliers came out with a decided agenda to not suck. And it sounds so.
It's true though,
and I wrote about this on 87sportsfans.com. That
because you're funny.
Well, just it sounds so simple, but if you come out and you don't defend, and you don't commit to scoring the basketball, and your shots don't go in, and you're not going to guard the three-point line against the winningest regular season team of all time, you are going to lose, and you are going to lose bad. It's just that simple. And that's what happened. And last night, they came out right from the get-go, punched Golden State square in the face, and didn't let up.
Pow, right in the kisser.
Now, can they do it again? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, no, that's something I'm not sure they're going to be able to do that. You know what I mean? I mean, they came in at like hell. I mean, they were tough, man. All throughout the playoffs, absolutely slayed everything going through the Eastern Conference playoffs. Or the Western Conference for and their sake, but. I mean, it was just, man, what a tough way to go all the way through, scoring machines, and then all of a sudden everything has kind of dropped out when it came up to going against Golden State Warriors. And I mean, when you look at the last 5 final games, when you look at Game 4 in 2015 through Game 2, of this year, the Cavs didn't shoot better than 40% in any game. They were 153 for 414. That's 37% overall. It totaled out 5 losses for them. And just to see the way that the Cavs were able to, the Warriors were able to stymie their offense, that's impressive. So we'll see. We'll talk to Danny Thompson about that because he's the guy that knows about the basketball business. That's like I said, not necessarily my trick here. But listen, we got a caller here, and we got a caller from the 678. What can I do for you, my man? Introduce yourself. Where are you from?
Just submitted from the ATL.
Oh, our guy, Smitty Sports Machine. How are you, Antoine? How are you?
Doing all right, man. Can't count it.
Yeah, that's good. So what's the deal? What's your take on this? Because I know, like I say, you do watch quite a bit of basketball, but maybe not necessarily a ton. But you got to be tuned in when it comes down to the finals. What's your take? Do you think the Cavs has kind of shook it all off, all that rust they've been piling up the last couple of weeks here, or do you think that? Maybe they figured something out when it comes to the Warriors.
They might have found some, matchup wise and how to match up with them. But I still think Golden State shooting going to put them over the top. Yeah,
no, and that's the thing too. Just the the way the Cavs were able to score. Over those first couple series, you look at what they did to the Raptors, what they did to the Hawks, what they did to the Pistons, just beat them all down. And then they got here, and I was like, all right, well, now we have real competition, where it finally turned into a series. This is the first real series they played in the entire playoffs at this point. Yeah, for sure, man. But how are things treating you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. I can't complain.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to youth camps down here with the NFL players.
I saw that.
Yeah, I love how they help the community and give back to the kids. I admire that.
Yeah, for sure. And what kind of stuff are you doing with them?
What I do, I just, talk to the parents and talk to the players, and they're actually, trying to come on my show to do interviews.
Really?
Talk about with the community, yes.
Oh, hell yeah, man. What kind of players so far have showed up, or what guys you have planned on coming out at some of these camps? This is all out in the Atlanta area, right?
Yes, they're retired players.
Okay.
Julius Williams, I actually met Denard Cersei, the safety for the Tennessee Tigers last week. He's a pretty cool dude. He's on his way back to training camp, and he said he's going to have a pretty good year this year.
Oh, kick ass, man. That's good. I'm glad to hear you got some guys.
Yeah,
no,
he
that's
liked
good,
what they're doing this year, and he said, they should be a surprising team this year.
Oh, hell yeah, man. I mean, I know we can check you out at Fat Boy with an I Slim _21. You also you're on sportsblog.com and the sportsmachine.sportsblog.com. Check that all out. But what's going on with you tonight, man? I know we had Muhammad Ali passed last week. That was something that crushed a lot of people, just knowing what he meant to the game. And then, not soon after that, you have Kimbo Slice. He passed away, 42 years old. Brock Lesnar, he's coming back to the UFC for a one-off there, and then JPP, the guy who blew off his hand last year with fireworks. He's gonna be doing PSAs this year about the dangers of fireworks, and that's a real story, by the way.
Yeah, it is. That's a good story, and it's good for the kids because coming up, you don't think about things like that. But to see that actually happen to somebody of his status, that means it could happen to anybody. So for him to, go around and talk about it, that's kind of cool.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Kind of ironic,
One story I just want to touch on, but, before I let y'all go, Muhammad Ali. He's probably the most well-known athlete, to ever live. And I got the pleasure of seeing him live when I was my senior year of high school. He came to visit, and, his wife talked to the kids, and, he got up and gave us a little show for about a couple of seconds. But, like they said, its heart was there to the end. It didn't want to stop beating, but it had to. And I just say I'm blessed to have, seen him in person because, that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. That's just like, that's just like you seeing the president. So, I mean, I was blessed to be able to be in his presence. So, I thank God for that.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it's that's fantastic. And real quick before we let you jet, I'm going to get Keith's opinion here on Muhammad Ali in a moment. But when can you find your show again? You're on Sundays, right?
Yes, I'm on Sundays on Blog Talk Radio. I'm on with my two female co-hosts at Double Coverage Divas, and talk all sports all the time from every angle, from a female perspective. And hey, we do our thing. So if y'all want to join me this Sunday, the phone number is 646-716-5245, and that's 7 to 8 o'clock on Blog Talk Radio. Talk to Me Sports Radio.
Kick ass. That's awesome. All right. Well, thanks for giving us a call, Smitty. Appreciate it, my man.
Anytime, man.
All right. Well, take care. Be good.
All right, man.
There he is. Yeah, you got it. That's awesome. That's our guy, Anton Smitty Smith. You can check him out at FatBoySlim with an _21 there. Again, check him out, Smitty Sports Machine. The former guest of the show, fantastic guy. Always had some good opinions, but that is kind of a strange thing. I mean, I heard quite a bit about Muhammad Ali the last couple days here, Keith, and we've read so much, we've seen so much, and one of the cool things was people can talk down about social media all they want, but I mean it was a great way for everybody to get their personal story out about it, and we've talked about that with David Bowie and with the passing of Prince, but I mean Muhammad Ali so much bigger, in a lot of different aspects and kind of what he brought to the table. Did you have any Muhammad Ali persons, or you ever shake hands with Muhammad Ali, or any kind of moment in particular? I mean, we were kind of young for that, but anything stand out to you about Muhammad?
Oh, I mean, nothing that anybody hasn't said a million times already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's just a larger than life figure. And from boxing to social, concerns. Societal concerns. He just he transcended sports. I'm not saying anything nobody else has said. It's just to lose somebody like that. I mean, he's really been, I won't say silent, but he was never.
No, he has been though. You know what I mean? Yeah, but he didn't have a choice.
No, I'm not criticizing or anything like that. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
to have him pass on, I almost morbidly feel like he's at peace now. So.
Oh yeah. Oh for sure. Just because, he had such a strong voice and opinion and a lot of the stuff that I heard, we actually there was a guy, I want to say it was like running with the champ for 40 years or something like that. As the name of a book came out like 2 weeks ago. And, it was a guy, the author was a guest on 670 The Score, a station I listen to all the time here in Chicago. And one of the things, this guy was, a standard white guy, you know what I mean? And all he did was sit there and he talked about his stories and everything that he had been through with Muhammad over the years. And I guess maybe an unlikely friendship. But one of the things he mentioned was about how interested he was in always learning the other side, in terms of he always wanted to meet anybody that was a celebrity, but he wanted to meet them to find out who they were. I guess, to kind of see things at least from their perspective, and kind of talk things out, and even challenge them, you know what I mean, to a debate and just in a natural conversation. And that's something I appreciate. I always try to do that, is see things from the other side, where you just get a little bit better perspective. It helps you out in the long term. And I guess some of the guys that rubbed him the wrong way was, Frank Sinatra. He wasn't a big fan of the arrogance, even though he was so, like I said, outspoken and cocky and everything else. But it was, I guess it worked. You know what I mean? For him, maybe more so than it did for other people, where maybe they were a little bit more rude in terms of the way they came across and the things they said. And for Muhammad, it just kind of all flowed. Even though he was a big trash talker, still made it work, you know. And that's one of the things. And kind of, I guess, my funny story about that was, okay, so we've heard about the first time I was supposed to be on the Bob Sullivan show. And, you know, Bob blew me off. He had a family issue he had to tend to, but no heads up, like, hey, I'm not going to be giving you a call or not anything else. So I'm sitting there waiting. Didn't happen. But the first time we actually did speak, the first thing he did, Muhammad Ali threw out a pitch at the Los Angeles Angels game. And Bob was like, why are they going to wheel him out? And he just said one of the rudest things I've ever heard. And just ignorant to the fact that the guy, you know, had Parkinson's and everything else. And I was like, you know, Bob, he's got a disease, man. He's like, oh, well, all right. And just kind of like moved on from it. Like, no big deal. Just a Bobbo thing, you know, caught his foot in his mouth. But, yeah, that's probably, I guess, my one Muhammad story. Never had a chance to meet the guy, but that's how it works.
Doesn't sound like anything Bob would do.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And so again, you want to get on any of those things, give us a call, 585-633-7487. Otherwise, give us a tweet at LN Sports Radio. And we're going to be talking a little bit later on to our guy, Cody VanCura. He's going to talk about Tool. Maynard James Keenan has been one of those. Wow. Cody gets a yay. He's doing things with his life. He's finally over the crazy broad.
Cody needs some positive reinforcement.
He does. He needs a positive reinforcement. He's dating a chick in a band. So if anything doesn't boost your confidence, it's got to be at least dating a chick in a band. You know what I mean? I would think so, at least.
So you go backstage after a show and see like 3 other guys, and you're just like, yeah.
Oh, wait, I got to hang out with all you dudes? Oh, all right.
Wait, we're not exclusive. Right. I knew that. Yeah.
I never thought to ask that question.
Rock and roll, man. Rock and roll.
And somehow he'd wind up being okay with it, and then he would cry about it. But it's fine. It's okay. He's Cody.
He seems like a new age dude.
Yeah. There might be some things that were kind of weird to some of us that he'd be open to, I would think. I don't know. Yeah. Whatever. We're going to bring in our first guest, our buddy, our man, Danny Thompson. We're going to talk anytime. We're going to bring up basketball. We're going to bring his name. You're getting some love there, Danny. How are you tonight, sir?
Well, I'm doing better than Kevin Love is right now, that's for sure.
Ooh, yeah. Our man, full court press ready here. Danny Thompson at NBA DT29. Check him out. And doing a bunch of things when it comes down to talking basketball. But what is the deal with Kevin Love?
Well, I mean, you have to think. A man who makes over $120 million is getting worse treatment than Joe Johnson ever got in Brooklyn. It's pretty sad to say, based upon the fact that 2 years ago, he was one of the top 10 to 15 players in the NBA. It's crazy how time has changed, and now we're at the point now where if you're Tyronn Lue, do you even put Kevin Love back in the starting lineup tomorrow night? That's how bad we've gotten with Kevin Love right now.
Yeah, and I mean, from all accounts that I've heard and all the reports, it sounds like he's going to be coming off the bench. He will be playing, but he's going to be coming off the bench, and I don't know. That's downgrading a little bit for the man, don't you think? I mean, do they need him out there, or do you think it's just a situation where it is as serious to where he can't play the minutes that he normally would? Because they did seem to be, obviously, they were a machine coming through this whole thing. You know, up until this point, they ran into a wall in the Golden State Warriors, and I don't know, it just seems like kind of all fell off.
It kind of reminds you of last year, guys. You know, Johnny, it's like just reminds you of last year when Steve Kerr had the big decision. Andre Iguodala was out playing Harrison Barnes, and he threw Iguodala in the starting lineup in the finals last year. And what happens? The Warriors win the championship, and Iguodala wins Finals MVP. I think it's kind of the same situation we have here. Richard Jefferson, I mean, he's 837 years old, and the last 2 games has been, outside LeBron James, the most important player the Cavs have had. Yeah, Kyrie scored 30 last night. Yeah, J.R. Smith played with a pulse. And if you look at the stat sheet, 9 points and 8 rebounds really wasn't much of on the stat side. But what Richard Jefferson did was he allowed LeBron James to guard Draymond Green, and Green did much of nothing last night. Yeah, I mean, much nothing on Wednesday night. And 6 points, 2 of 8 shooting. Green just looked completely out of it after having such a great game in Game 2. Right. Did nothing. And now the $64 question is that Cleveland can't score off the bench. We've learned this. I think Cleveland scored their first bench points midway through the third quarter. I think they almost had 90 points at that time.
Yeah.
Cleveland's bench can't score. So what do? You add one of the most talented offensive players in the NBA, one of the better shooters, and Kevin Love off the bench. If Tyronn Lue was smart, he would play Kevin Love about 20 minutes tomorrow night. A lot of times to rest LeBron James and Kyrie Irving in stretches. That way LeBron doesn't have to do too much heavy lifting tomorrow night until he's really needed to.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, you look at, you mentioned Iguodala, and that's a guy where in his 3 years in Golden State, never averaged more than 9.3 points per game after coming off, 8 straight seasons in double figures. But it seems like that's intentional. You know what I mean? They want him out there for his defense. The guy played averaged 26.6 minutes per game in the regular season. And then he turned to the playoffs. He's averaging 31.2. I mean, this is a guy where they rely on him to, quite a bit, and obviously it's not for scoring. What does Iguodala bring to the game for Golden State?
I mean, the same thing he does. He's been doing his entire career. He's one of the best on-ball defenders in the NBA, and the only difference is that when he was in Philadelphia and Denver those years, he was required to score. Here, he doesn't have to. As long as he prevents points from going on the board or makes life tougher for LeBron James or whoever he's guarding, whether it be the Kevin Durant, LeBron James, the big-time, the Kawhi Leonard, all these big-time small forwards and shooting guards in the league, as long as he prevents them from scoring, it's like scoring on the other end for Golden State. So he's not really required to score. He's just there for defensive purposes, and he's got to drop some buckets here and there. That's what he does.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, too. I mean, you look at the defense. I mean, you got to give the Golden State Warriors, obviously, some credit for the defense that they've been able to go out there to slow down the Cavs' offense with all their versatile defenders. It seems like they're so – it's very easy for them to switch, from one player to another and not be concerned about a mismatch one way or another. Is there anything that Tyronn Lue can do to kind of create some kind of mismatch there to where maybe they do have a leg up here and can kind of figure out a way to at least make these games a little bit more tighter than they have been outside of last night?
I don't want to think it's adjustments. I just think in Cleveland's case, they just have to hit shots. And I think in Game 3, Kyrie Irving came out and set the tone early in the game by hitting shots. He had to get 16 in the first quarter. I don't think he scored 16 points in the first 2 games combined, it seemed like.
Right.
His shot was falling, and when his shot's falling, it makes life even easier for LeBron James. It's kind of like, I think it was last night was kind of the same theory of the Lakers back in the successful days of the 2000s, where Shaq beat you up for 3 quarters and Kobe finished you off.
Yep. What
they did was Kyrie he started feeling himself early. He was getting the shots falling. He was making Steph Curry break his ankles. It was like, what was happening to him. And then LeBron just became LeBron. J.R. Smith threw his little 3 cents in by knocking down 20 points. And there you go. Tristan Thompson doubled, and that's how Cleveland wins. What should happen tomorrow is that Tyronn Lue should come up with the same strategy. Get Kyrie the ball early and let him go to work. If his shot's falling, then let him go. Let LeBron pretty much do the heavy lifting in the second, third, and definitely into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I'm hoping that at least Tyronn Lue and the Cavs they can figure something out to where, I mean, through 2 games they're only shooting 35.4% from the field, 21.7 beyond the arc there, and then when it came up against Golden State, that number moved down to 27.3% from behind the arc. And God, I mean, it's just pretty tough. I mean, when you look at it, they were averaging, nearly 15 3-pointers a game, throughout the first 3 series they played, shooting, nearly 45%. What has it been, that's been able to at least bring that to a stop when it comes from the Warriors' perspective, knowing that was such a strong point of their game and they've basically been able to take it away from them?
I just think, honestly, that I think it's just Cleveland not being able to effectively get open. If you look at the Atlanta series, it was a lot of drive and penetration and kickouts. I mean, LeBron James, Kyrie Irving was just driving to the lane, and just doing what they want to. They close out the defense, and guys like Channing Frye and Kevin Love were knocking down 3-pointers. J.R. Smith were knocking down 3-pointers on the perimeter. I think in Game 4, what has to happen is that Kyrie Irving and LeBron James has to go to the paint and try to get Andrew Bogut in foul trouble early, which forces Steve Kerr to have to either A, play small ball the majority of the game, which doesn't play into their advantage, or they're going to have to see a lot of Festus Ezeli and Murray Spates. Anytime you have a situation, you just go at the rim. LeBron needs to get to the line, I think, at least 12 to 15 times tomorrow night. The same thing with Kyrie Irving. You have to pretty much get this team in the penalty early, force them to play defense, and then once you start forcing them to play defense, make sure that you have enough time to load up from the three-point line. I think if you get to the line about 28 to 30 times tomorrow night and at least knock down about, I'd say, 8 to 10 three-pointers, Cleveland goes back to Oakland, tied at 2 on Monday night.
So let's get down to it. I mean, nuts and bolts. Well, how do you think this plays out? I mean, do you see the Cavaliers actually turning this into a series, or do you think again it was like the first game back at home, they're going to come off with the win because that's just kind of the way this thing works? How do you see this all playing out? Is it the best of 5 here?
Guys, I said this on our show from the very beginning. I also said it on social media, Cavs in 6. I might change my mind on this one.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And now, some of the other things you're looking at. I mean, the Warriors, their most, I guess, recent opponent that they beat right before the Cleveland Cavaliers here was Oakland. Oklahoma City. They got, their guy Kevin Durantula. He's up for free agency. What's going to happen with that? I know Phil Jackson, he's looking to make a big push with New York. And the way things have just bottomed out for them, I mean, they've made some good picks, the last couple of years since Phil took over, but it doesn't seem like it's really all coming together. And you got Carmelo there. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. Do you think that they have enough there where they can bring in a guy like Kevin Durant and at least make it appealing to him?
I don't think Kevin Durant will. I mean, of course, you'll take the phone call from Bill Jackson, the same way you'll take the phone call from Pat Riley. I don't think New York's a serious contender for Kevin Durant. If they're serious on anybody, it would be in the guard position like a Mike Conley or somebody if they really want to go there and up that tree. Because you have to think, Carmelo Anthony is still your starting small forward. You have clear start for Porzingis at the power forward, and Robin Lopez did a very solid job at center this year. Now, also, Knicks fans are worried not worried, but they should also be able to look at the Knicks could be looking at Dwight Howard. And if you add Dwight Howard to Porzingis, it's going to be hard to score on the Knicks with those two guys. And those two guys can definitely hide Carmelo Anthony's defensive liabilities over there. But as far as Kevin Durant goes, I think you're down to about maybe 6 real contenders, and then you have the Houston Rockets on the outside. Washington will always be a contender because it is home to him. You have to also look at the Golden State Warriors if they decide not to win the championship and they have to clean house. Because the $64 question is that what do you do at Harrison Barnes? I know good and well Golden State does not want to pay Harrison Barnes over $100 million because he's going to get that someplace else, and I don't think they want to match anything close to that. So you have to look at their destination. You also have to look at, of course, return to Oklahoma City. I have said the dark horse is the Boston Celtics. Yes, I said the Boston Celtics. Isaiah Thomas is doing the recruiting efforts. Can you imagine if the Celtics can trade for Jimmy Butler?
Say,
No,
I was just saying, man. I don't trust those guys, to be honest with you. The Bulls front office, I don't think they're smart enough to get rid of a guy like Jimmy Butler, and especially on top of not only getting rid of him, but getting anything worth anything in return for a guy like Jimmy Butler, or even Derrick Rose at this point.
Well, I think, honestly, if you're going to trade Jimmy Butler, I think the asking price in return will probably have to cost you Avery Bradley, the 3rd overall pick, and something else off that roster, maybe Jay Crowder or a Zeller or a Lennox or something like that. I think that could get it done. Then you take the existing cap money you have, and you tell Kevin Durant, listen, we'll sign Al Horford. You take it for 1 year. We take care of you next summer. And if you can put together Isaiah Thomas, Jimmy Butler, Kevin Durant, Al Horford, which is possible, I think they can win the Eastern Conference with that. And they still have Marcus Smart as well, too.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other thing, too, if Durant can decide to stay home because he can make more money if he stays home and then take that deal and then opt out and go for a free agent, next offseason. And, that'd be the same time as, Russell Westbrook. I do believe. Do you think that's something he tries to do, or he says, you know what, hey, let's give this one more go. I'm going to get my money out of this because I'm just going to get as much money next year, and I'm just going to make more money by doing that and sticking with Oklahoma City. How do you think he's feeling about that overall? Is he looking to move right now? Is this the best time for him to move?
I mean, you have to think. I mean, there's no better time than ever you've been in Oklahoma City. You're going your 10th year in the NBA. So I get it if he decides to move on, but I also get it, like him and Russ playing one more year, they both walk away together in 2017. You can do it either way. I don't think it's about the money with Kevin because he just signed a $300 million deal with Nike. So I don't think money is the option. I don't think market has anything to do with it because it's very rare that you have a guy playing in Oklahoma making $300 million for like an endorsement deal. So I don't think it's about the market. I really think it's about winning a championship. Of all the places, you have to acquire pieces. Los Angeles will have to go out and find a big man. They would have to probably sign Hassan Whiteside, and then hopefully they can land Durant. And then what do you do with Ben Simmons or Brandon Ingram, whoever you take at number 2? If you sign Kevin Durant, that's another question. And 3, there are teams that are waiting for 2017 actually. Like you said, the free agent market includes Russell Westbrook, it includes Kevin Durant, it includes LeBron James again. It also includes guys like Stephen Curry if Golden State doesn't want to act right and pay him what he's worth. There are other guys in that 2017 free agent class that are going to be huge, and guys who have opt-out years. So Mark Cuban said that this might not be the year where the money goes crazy and everybody goes crazy and nuts in 2017. It could happen. I really could see it happening, but Durant, I think, will make this decision right at July 4th weekend. He's the type of guy, remember he signed the extension, he just posted something real small on Twitter saying, I'm back, so on and so forth, and that was it. I think Durant should have his decision by the 4th of July. I don't think he wants to drag this on much longer. He's going to interview the teams he wants to. I still think he ends up returning Oklahoma City for one more year at the 2-1. Then he opts out in 2017. I think the destination in 2017 is going to be Miami Heat if he goes anywhere.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. You know what I mean? And God bless him, my man.
Miami's either going to get Westbrook or Durant. They're going to get one of the two.
Right.
I don't know if Durant wants to follow what LeBron did, but Miami's going to look for a star in the free agent class in 2017, especially if Chris Bosh can injury retire. And that's something we don't want to see, but for Bosh's health, I don't think he should play anymore. But if you get him to injury retire and you get that off the books, Dwayne Wade will be off the books. I mean, Russell Westbrook is a perfect fit. If not, Kevin Durant will be there as the centerpiece. One of the two will be the centerpiece with a Gordon Dragic, and then you already sign Whiteside if you sign him. And you have two good pieces there. And just imagine if you get a Westbrook or a Durant going in that spot as well, too.
Man, and that'd be crazy, too. I mean, you think about how relevant, the Heat have been, going back to the morning days. And, it's going to be an end of an era, when Wade finally retires and he leaves. And at this point with Bosh, it's just I feel bad for the guy because, he still goes out there. Everybody kind of considered him the wimp out of everybody that went out of the big three that went down there. And somehow, he stuck it out. And the games that he did play with Miami, the guy was huge. Especially after LeBron left, he was a big part of that team. And now to have, if you think he's gone and Wade's gone, there, Pat Riley, he's got to do something to make that team relevant again. Much like the Lakers have to figure out what the hell they're going to do with their team. You know what I mean? That's a tough spot for them. I think the Lakers, Jerry Buss, they're going to be looking to do something here. Come the off season, whether it's going hard at Kevin Durant, whether it's trying to pick up somebody like Jimmy Butler, that's been long rumored, and it's just that would be really interesting to see a guy like Westbrook wind up in Miami.
Wow.
Yeah, how about that, man? But that's kind of the way it's going. And I know my guy Keith here, he's got a few things before we wrap it up with you. Again, Danny Thompson, NBA DT29 on Twitter, Full Court Press Radio. And Keith Reno, why don't you take it away from here, my man?
Wow, what a throw over that is. Oh, my gosh. Take it away.
You gotta love it.
My thoughts on Kevin Love is that the guy. The only good news for Kevin Love is that he probably spent most of last night thinking he was Batman, so he didn't know what was going on with the concussion. But oh my God, the guy's getting raked over the coals. They are not a better offensive team without Kevin Love, but they are a better defensive team because Richard Jefferson in his place increases the perimeter defense, and that's what you need against Golden State. They're not going to bang you with Andrew Bogut, you know what I mean, or Festus Ezeli or whoever. There's no post presence really on that team. Bogut's the closest thing, and he's as inconsistent as they come. But so you need to increase. So that's why Love not starting is probably the right move, but not because, Love's overrated or Love sucks or anything like that. The Love hurts, man. It's that simple. But, sorry, I tried to slip that joke in there real quick.
Yeah. But
on the Durant on the Durant tip. Oh, you know what? I'm my own DJ here, and
there it is.
There it is.
Nice.
And with Durant, I think he may do the whole tour thing, but I don't see him leaving. I don't see a whole lot of situations where his prospects get better by leaving Russell Westbrook. And there's a lot more than just Westbrook going on in Oklahoma City too. You know what I mean? I mean they pushed the Warriors. They beat the Spurs, who everyone thought this was a Warriors Spurs playoff race. And OKC all of a sudden threw a wrench in that whole works, and they had the defending champs, the 73-win Golden State Warriors, on the ropes. I mean, they ultimately choked, of course, but they had them on the ropes. Right. So I don't think, unless other dominoes fall in Oklahoma City, I don't see Durant leaving unless some magical situation shows up. You know, like don't forget, it wasn't just LeBron going to Miami. It was LeBron and Bosh both going to Miami to play with Dwayne Wade. So I unless somebody else comes in as like a third party on wherever he goes, I don't see him leaving personally.
Well, I know his agent's working hard to get him over there. In terms of talking to Boss, seeing at least putting the feelers out there and trying to make a big deal happen where it's all right. Well, what's it going to take for Boston to land a guy like Kevin Durant? You got to go out there. You got to pick up a guy like Jimmy Butler. That's part of it. And just right before we let you go here, Danny, and I mean, do you have any faith in that Bulls team where I talk about moving a guy like Jimmy Butler? I mean, obviously he's got multiple locations where he can land up a big ticket, but I just don't feel like they're willing to pull the trigger because Joakim Noah already says he's out. Yeah, Pau Gasol, he's gone as well. This is something where it's a really ugly looking Bulls team when all you have left there is a guy like Derrick Rose.
And you got to think Derrick Rose is going in 2017 too, because the Bulls are they're reloading this entire team. I think at this point, Jimmy Butler and Fred Hoiberg don't see eye to eye. And I think Jimmy has gone Jimmy at this point. So there's a couple places Jimmy could go. I mean, I've heard the rumor of Philadelphia for the third. That's Philadelphia, but you've heard the rumor of, Boston's always been one option. There's always been talk of him going to the Lakers if the Lakers want to trade the second overall pick for Butler. Orlando's been chasing Jimmy Butler since the deadline, and they've offered Oladipo, Vucevic, among others, but they just refuse to throw in Aaron Gordon in any trade, which I understand. Right. There are teams who are chasing Jimmy Butler, would love to have him. Boston love to have him. I don't see Jimmy Butler on Chicago when we get a training camp. I really think he gets moved in the near future, and it's going to be somebody either we talked about here or somebody we haven't expected. But I don't think Butler's going to be back to Chicago next year at all.
That's sad. He was one of the few fun things to watch, whether it was his style or just his game overall. That was a guy that I like to keep my eye on. He made it worth watching Chicago basketball there for a few years, and so it's going to be sad to see him move on. But it's sad seeing you go. Go ahead.
If it's chemistry related, then you have to understand. But you got to think. You just mentioned Joakim has just basically ran away. Now he's ready to reunite with Tibbs. And can you imagine Joakim Noah and Kevin Garnett in the same locker room?
Yeah, that'd probably be pretty hard to contain. I would imagine.
And all you have to do is put Karl Anthony Towns in the middle between both of them as a mentor, and you would think that's comedic genius, comedic gold right there. Right.
No, that's NBA TV thing. You got to film that. It's kind of like Hard Knocks, but just as the season's actually going on. I'd be into that. I'd watch that show.
I'd watch it.
You got it. And when are we going to listen to you? I know we got Full Court Press Radio coming up, and why don't you give everybody a good idea as to when they can listen to you, when they can call in, when they can do all that fun stuff.
We actually just finished filming Full Court Press tonight. Was a little bit running late because the power went out in my house. So we did Full Court Press Radio. Literally, we just stopped filming at 11 tonight. We're back on the air on Tuesday night, right before, as we're talking about Game 4, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., Tuesday and Thursday throughout the draft. And then next month, we're actually going to be, guys, I'll be the first one to tell you guys. We're actually going to be we'll be syndicated nationally in 10 different markets starting right after the 4th of July. I'll be down in Summer League Orlando, but we'll be actually in Las Vegas, Milwaukee, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Tampa, Florida, among 6 other stations. We'll be doing 3 days a week starting in July. We'll be on, I think, 3 p.m. on Monday and Saturday, and then also at 9 p.m. on Thursday night. So we're basically going 3 days a week starting in July with NBA Summer League. And, we'll be doing everything through the app, also through all the different channels. And, I missed the show last week. I had some issues, but I'm so glad that you guys had me back on, and I love doing you guys' show. So anytime.
Oh yeah, I know it's always a little bit more fun when Bob's around because he's just Bobbo's Bobbo. You know what I mean? Bobbo's gonna Bobbo. He's gonna ask a silly ass question, but the man knows his basketball stuff. But you're one of those guys that can keep up with him, man. I'm so happy to hear that you're going syndicated. You're gonna be on all the damn time, 3 times a week now. That's fantastic. And now are some of these guys that you've already worked with, when it comes down to bringing in the different cities like Milwaukee and all that, are they, I guess, contributors from that city?
We actually have a group called NBA Lead who we work with in Milwaukee. We actually work with those guys. They contribute a lot of stuff to our website. The other markets actually came in through some different channels that I'm working with. And so we all got together. We all sat in the room. We all played, Hungry Hungry Hippos. I won. And
yeah, that's great, dude. I love it. Man. I couldn't be any happier for you.
It's just it's just something that's taken a long time to work, and we put it together, and I'm excited to hear what these markets have to offer, and it's just expanding the show, and everything that we can do, to spread the game of basketball, and also just spread the word of what we do, and just enjoy basketball. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, that kicks ass. I love it. Well, Danny, my man, best of luck to you. We're definitely going to have you back on here, but we're definitely going to be listening to you and following you on Twitter, NBADT29. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on, man. What an honor. Love it.
Guys, it's not an honor for me. It's an honor for me being on your show because, like I said,
no,
Bob owes me one. I'm waiting on Bobbo's show. So, Bob, if you're listening, my phone hasn't changed. So you know where to find me, guys. It was a pleasure as always.
Yeah, you got it, my man. There you go. Danny Thompson. Thank you so much, buddy. Be good.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, I love him. Thanks, yeah, you got it. Solid stuff all the damn time. And, yeah, I love Danny. I especially love our conversations off the air where we're talking about his time at EA Sports and reminiscing about, Marty Cordova kicking some ass with David Ortiz and MLB 98. I want to say that was. Man, just love it, Keith. And the other guy that I love, it was Best Friends Day yesterday, but it's going to be tonight because we're bringing in our guy, Cody VanCura. Time for some celebratory 40s. What the hell is going on, Mr. Cody VanCura?
Hey, guys. Hey, Johnny. Keith. What's going on?
Thanks, Keith. Yeah, no, you're that guy. You're that guy, Cody. We love you to death. How you feeling tonight?
Oh, I'm feeling all right. It hasn't been too great of past couple days, but I'm enjoying the tea right now. And, sometimes there's a silver lining, and sometimes there's not. You just got to wait for them.
Yeah, that's right, Cody. And I know dealing with the heartburn, man. The heartburn has been kicking your ass, huh?
Yeah, dude, it's been bad. It went away for several days. I thought I was cured of it, and it came back with vengeance.
Are you taking like Prilosec or something? I mean,
I was on Nexium. I was on Nexium for a year and a half, and made the problem worse. I got switched to Pepcid, and now I'm on a combination of Pepcid and apple cider vinegar, which has finally been able to relieve the problem.
Really? That's what they gave you? That was like, yeah, all right, this expensive drug didn't work. All right, well, let's take some Pepcid and some cider.
You know, they didn't even tell me about the cider. It's the biggest lie in the medical field. Apple cider vinegar could cure anything, but the doctors don't want you to know.
Is that right? Where do you stand on this, Keith? I know you have a lot of strong opinions about pretty much damn everything.
What does that mean?
You're well read.
I'm a smart MFer. I make no shy. I'm not shy about that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. What's your deal with cider, apple cider vinegar?
That's a cure-all for everything. You could, if you like find enough websites. Windex, huh? Yeah, if you find enough websites, you'll find out that it like cures like it is what cured the bubonic plague, but nobody knew it. You know, it's just.
And like I feel like that's like at least in terms with the crazy people, where they love the idea that weed can fix everything. Like weed will cure you of a headache, it'll cure you of this, it'll cure you of cancer. Sure. And I'm like, I don't know. I guess maybe I haven't read all the numbers, but I mean, it seems like there's that over the top group when it comes to marijuana and your apple cider vinegar group. I feel like they're within the same posse.
Did you see that?
You know, I'm telling you, dude. I was feeling like crap before this apple cider vinegar, and I think it really is working more than the Pepsi and the Nexium.
Did you see that Facebook meme that was like the old time cough syrup label, and it says, "No wonder nobody ever missed work." It's got alcohol, cannabis, chloroform, and morphine in it. It's like,
yeah, whatever, man. It worked for people. People worked. The people weren't disrespectful. They weren't walking around with their cell phones, walking into the little pools that they have at malls.
What are you talking about right now?
You know, those, what do they call those? It's like a waterfall or something. They got little ponds set up in the malls.
I saw that picture of the old medicine, and the only thing that I could think of was, where can I get me a bottle of that?
Ooh. Yeah, not anymore, buddy. You ever robo-trip, Keith?
No, I'm sorry, what?
Robo-trip?
No, what is that? I'm old and out of touch.
Oh, man, that's
so
where...
Johnny, can I explain this?
Oh, please do.
All right, because I have a pretty good story about it. So, robo-tripping...
By the way, disclaimer, don't anybody ever do this. But go ahead.
So it has a chemical in their DMX, or DXM, and the chemical in Robitussin blocks out your brain and makes you want to cough. So the more you drink of this, the more of your brain gets blocked out, and you're pretty much a zombie. So I used to be super into it in, like, late middle school, early high school, and so, like, I grew up and I started, like, smoking pot. I didn't need it anymore, but once a year, every winter when it was, like, a heavy snowfall, I'd go to the mall with 2 bottles, I'd chug them, and I would just walk around the mall all day. So the last time I ever did it, I go to PacSun, Pacific Sunwear. I don't remember any of this, but this is what the employees told me. And apparently I walked in cackling like a hyena from The Lion King, and I picked out a sundress, and apparently I went into the dressing room, I kept cackling, I go to the cashier, I buy the sundress, and I just keep laughing and laughing. And so, like, the trip wears off, and I'm home. And so I completely forgot I bought this. So the next day, I'm in my car, and I find the bag, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And I'm like, this is a sundress. Why did I buy this? And so I go back to PacSun, and they explain the story to me. And that was the last time I ever robo-tripped.
And it let you in the store.
Yeah, they did. They were excited to see me again.
Love the laugh track. Oh my God, Cody. Yes, no. I got to tell you, buddy. We love you for that, and yeah, I don't know. I would suggest that people decide not to do the robo trip thing.
I know what I wanted to ask you guys.
What's that?
Because you guys are like the ultimate music snobs.
Yes, please.
Like listening to you guys talk is like watching the movie High Fidelity. All the scenes that take place in the record shop. Like, that's like listening to you two guys talk about music.
I feel like that a lot of times, especially because, with me working at the coffee shop, like, I control the music when I'm working. You know what I mean? So I always got somebody like, hey, man, what are you playing? And like sometimes I'm like, man, it's something stupid. Don't worry about it, buddy.
I won't give my opinion because I want yours unvarnished. Not that it would matter anyway, but what do you guys think of the Disturbed remake of Sound of Silence?
I couldn't fucking hate it anymore.
Oh, come on, man.
That is the GD worst cover that I might have ever heard.
No.
And everybody was making such a huge deal out of it. I'm sorry. Disturbed, you're great at what you do. Why the hell are you going to waste your time trying to come up with something like that? And it dude, to me that was absolute trash. Cody?
In my opinion, it was a postmodern masterpiece. They took two different sides of the spectrum. Beautiful Simon and Garfunkel song. And they made it their own. They made it the opposite of Sound of Silence. They made it, wah-ah-ah-ah.
No, they didn't make it wah-ah-ah-ah.
I would like in the future more Disturbed covers of Simon and Garfunkel. Maybe we could get a collaborative tour going. Maybe throw some Hall & Oates in there. I would love to hear Disturbed cover some of that.
So
Disturbed should be done making their own music.
I can't go for that.
This is where I wonder if Cody's mocking me.
I'm not, like I said, a true postmodern masterpiece that will be listened to for decades and decades.
But I thought they nailed the mood of the song perfectly, and it's just as miserable as the original.
I'll give you that.
And
I'll give you that.
And because when
it made me cry harder, that's for sure.
When hard alt metal, whatever you want to classify them, when they tend to do pop remixes, they either go way too soft and piss everybody off, or they go over the top death metal and piss everybody off. And I thought that they kind of treaded the line pretty good there. They got enough of their edge to it, but they didn't kill the original mood of the song.
All right. Keith, would you have liked it if there was more? Ooh, ah, ah, ah.
No, I'm not a big fan of the ooh, ah, ah. I can't even do it.
I mean, let's face it, that's pretty much all they're known for. I mean, they're Chicago guys, so I'm going to love them just because that's what happens. But
I'm a 40-year-old suburban white dude. I don't go that ooh, ah.
Oh, come on. Come on, don't tell me like anytime that song comes on, you're not blaring it with all your windows down. You
can't blare Sound of Silence. I don't care how good it is. The only people that blare Sound of Silence are the ones that are about to take the bridge.
Cody and I have been there before. I think we almost took the bridge once ourselves together.
Which I'm not trying to.
I'm sitting on the railing of the bridge right now, my dudes.
Which, for the record, I am not trying to make light of in any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, well, whatever. If you take your own life, that's kind of your deal. You kind of welcome yourself to a little bit of laughter. That's not something that you should be pulling. You know what I mean? You're lucky. Everybody's life sucks. That's the whole point about life. It sucks. You know what I mean? So you got to laugh about it. You got to work your way through it.
All right, we got 7.
Selfish thing.
We got 7 minutes left. What's Cody talking about? What's
son of a bitch, Cody? We got to talk about stuff. Tool, Maynard James Keenan hates his damn fans from pretty much any interview you've ever heard of this man. And now all of a sudden, Tool is back. They are headlining a number of festivals in between the Voodoo Experience thing. They're also doing the Aftershock festival. They're all over the place. They got a couple of dates set up for October here in the States between California, Utah, Colorado, Arkansas, and Los Angeles. No Chicago there yet. But there's been talk for quite some time. They're in the studio. What's your whole deal with Maynard James Keenan? Are you a fan of him? Because one of my buddies, they got me into radio. His buddy's mother, was his music teacher, and he actually still stays in touch with her and writes to her, like handwritten letters and things. So he seems like a pretty cool guy, at least in my brain.
Yeah, no, I have no problem with him, and I totally understand the hate for his fans. Like, Tool is always clumped into the new metal category with bands like Disturbed, and you have to think, like, the people who want to go see Tool are still stuck in that, like, early 2000s mindset, and they're probably the ones who really like the cover of Sound of Silence. And it's tough because I think that Tool has surpassed the label of new metal, and they're just more, modern rock, hard rock, but they're still clumped in with them. And I'm sure it's hard to know that you're making better music than what the other bands around the same period you were active around are making, like Korn, and Slipknot. I don't know. It's they're in a weird spot where they can't really transform themselves because that's just music they play.
Well, I mean, Maynard James, he just does it himself in terms of all the different bands he takes on. 'Cause, I mean, I think it's which one? Either the Aftershock one. That's the one with Tool, Primus, Slayer. They're going to be doing all the headlining, but also Pussifer is also on the list, which is one of his many different bands. And I don't know. I mean, I think that's the way he's able to transform his sound at least, and why it's taken so long for a new Tool album to come out is because of the fact that he wants to do stuff that's different and that's not Tool, that just has like that mold that they're not able to break. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not that they don't necessarily feel like they need to progress in any different which way. Tool is Tool. He wants to leave it as the beautiful thing that it is, and doesn't want to kind of screw it up by tainting it and putting out a new album all the time and touring just with Tool. He wants to do a bunch of different things. So, and I mean, I'm cool with him for that. And I get the whole thing where, he'd rather not play a bunch of huge cities when he can sell at any arena or any venue that he wants to play. You know what I'm saying? Like why bother doing that? Going to a huge town with all these Tool freaks, and I'm with them on that, man. I mean, like I get the whole thing where it's you're a big fan of a band, but the over the top guys, I mean that always kills it for me. You know what I mean? They take it way too seriously, and that was something even mentioned before. You know what I mean? So I'm glad to hear that you're on board.
I have this other thought about him too, hating Tool fans. It's kind of the reverse of the singer of this band, Self Defense Family, which is, they're pretty big now, but not that big. And like they've all broke off and done their own things. And the singer, he's in this new band, Drug Church, and they're huge right now. And he did an interview where he said that people come up to him after shows and they're like, "Oh man, Drug Church rules! I love this band. I just got into that." And he's like, "Well, screw you, dude. Where were you all these years when I was struggling in Self-Defense Family?" And I could see that, the opposite for the dude from Tool. Like, he's in all these different projects now, and people are like, "Oh, man, I love Tool. I love Tool." And he's probably like, "Well, why don't you support my other bands?"
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And that's something where, I guess I'm going to flip it this direction, because this got me really excited when I saw this today. Last week, Beck, they had, he released his new single off his 10th upcoming album. But one of the things, a guy that's in a bunch of different bands, coming out with some new music. The last time Queens of the Stone Age put out an album was 2013 with Like Clockwork, which was an awesome album. And since then and before then, he worked with, the Eagles of Death Metal. He's also been, worked on the new Iggy Pop album from this year, the Post-Pop Depression album. And it seems like they're locked in from what he says. They're in the studio coming up with a new album. Are you pumped for some Queens of the Stone Age? I'm a huge Queens of the Stone Age guy, so I'm incredibly excited about this.
We've talked about this. Not a huge fan, but after his work on the Iggy Pop album, I am really excited to hear if any influence from that will carry over.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool, though. You know what I mean? Like what kind of things he picked up. You know what I mean? Just working with Iggy and maybe some of the ideas that he had.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. No, that's fantastic, man. I'm all about that. So what else is going on, Cody? Anything good, man? You got any festivals you're looking at? Dumbfest, that's playing this weekend. Your girl's playing that, right?
No, she dumped me yesterday. But whatever. I wasn't even that into it, so no get off my back.
She dumped you yesterday. Was it too much apple cider vinegar? Do you have apple cider vinegar breath? She wasn't down with it, or what? Or did I creep her out too much when I met her?
No, I think it was that argument with her roommate that really started it. So,
what?
Who knows?
Man, that's sad. I'm sorry to hear that, Cody. You're still an awesome guy. Did you ever
run
into...
I lied. I said I wasn't that into it. I was super into it. It was a bummer. But you know what? I'm a handsome, young 24-year-old man. I'll get over it.
That's right. Damn it. You're going to make it happen, dude. Just like the White Sox, man. The White Sox made a big trade this week. But we'll talk about that next week when it matters a little bit more. So we can watch them throw one more awful game. God, that's such a bad move. Anyways, Cody VanCura, buddy. We love it. You can check out Celebratory Forties on Facebook, and we're wrapping things up here. And real quick, I love you, buddy. You be good.
All right, you guys have a good night.
Bye, Cody.
There he is, Cody VanCura. Check him out. Facebook, Celebratory Forties. Just so you can check out our guy, Danny Thompson. He's also on Facebook. Follow his Facebook page, Full Court Press Radio. You can also check him out on Twitter at NBADT29, and also Sports Talk Florida 96.9 The Game. And he's going syndicated because we love him, and that's great. And everybody else loves him too. So couldn't be any more excited for him. If you want to follow us, you can follow me at Maloris, Malioris, on Facebook, on Twitter. Do all that fun stuff. And actually, next week, pretty big guest. We got Mr. Mike Farron of MLBnetwork.com. Also, MLB Radio. That's a fantastic thing. Check that out. And other than that, our guy Keith Areno here. We love you to death. Wish Bob Sullivan was here, but you can check him out, Bob Sullivan Show, every Sunday. Find it on LateNightSportsRadio.com. Just so you can find this show and download it on iTunes. Thank you very much for everybody calling. Even same thing with our guy Anton. Love you, buddy. Be good. Appreciate you all.